we're trying to provide relevance for kids.
Yes.
As you think about the time in school where you enter as a kindergartner and you go through the 12-year progression, you do kind of get tired of doing the same thing and sitting in the same rows and doing the same activities. And especially as kids gain independence at the sophomore, junior, and senior level, when does this become relevant for me? And when can I get to do something different? And so we value the concept of our kids learn oftentimes best at that level, at the junior and senior level, off our campus from people who are actually living the work. And that's a quote from one of our kids is, I learn best from people who've actually done it. Like many educators, this is my 23rd year in this profession. Other than the first 5 years of my life, this is all I've done as a student, and then now as a teacher and administrator. So I don't always have a great grasp of what the real world looks like. So who better to teach it than those that are actually doing it? And so we've structured our day to allow for those opportunities, and what those opportunities look like are different for almost every student, if that's what they choose to do. On the other part of it is we are located in rural southeastern Indiana, and we are recruiting our talent back here like crazy. And we're very open about that. Whether you are going to go right out of high school and into the job force, or going to go in some type of hybrid situation, or even a 4-year route where you're going to go to Indiana University or Purdue University or somewhere in the tri-state area, we have to recruit people back to this area, especially the people that have demonstrated skills. What better way to recruit them and say and train them and evaluate them than while they're in high school and train them our way? And so we're very intentional about that. We want to recruit a lot of these kids back to our area. I was struck the other day when we were meeting with some of our industry partners and building some things, and we asked them what sometimes you see your potential employees missing. And they'll say, well, they don't promote themselves well enough. And we're thinking, well, wait a minute, I don't know. I go to Instagram and see what they do, but they're talking about it in a different ways. What skills do they have? Can they talk about the skills? And that just perfectly aligned to a skills line lesson that we were doing that day with promote yourself. And here are some ways of doing it with humility and diplomacy, for example, that tells your story, lets people know your goals, but at the same time, talks about, hey, I have done X, Y, and Z while I've been in high school. And so we want to share those stories. And I saw Jeff Hartz in the chat, who leads a program, I believe it was on a previous episode, where our kids are at the hospital 2 days a week, and then they have classroom sessions with Jeff on Monday. In about a month, I'm going to sit in a boardroom at Margaret Mary Health and listen to our kids talk about their experiences. Last year, we had 4 kids that actually witnessed and participated and helped in a live birth. I don't know if that's legal. I believe it is. But at the same time, if you want to get in the medical industry and you are actively doing these things with industry professionals during the normal block, why wouldn't we provide those opportunities to our kids and with great partners such as AHAC? And so that's one example where we're trying to really bring relevancy back to the high school experience, especially the latter half, but also teach some of the skills Thaddeus mentioned and that have been identified here in Indiana, so that kids can tie their experiences to industry terminology that we sometimes take for granted when we get to different professional levels.